I'm Paul Zigo. This is Cinema for Cynics, back in the saddle again with Chauncey. And, in a previous video, we took a look at some movies that are great, but you only want to watch once. Let's take a look at the other end of that. Here are 5 movies that you're not going to mind watching over and over and over again. Falling Down. Everyone's had a bad day, a day where nothing goes right from the start, where everything you try ends in hilarious failure. That universal human truth is at the core of Falling Down, and it's a reason it's so infinitely rewatchable. Michael Douglas plays a character known only by his car's vanity plate, Defense. He's an out of work defense contractor who's had enough. His divorce, his unemployment, the rude self regard of the general populace, even business transactions no longer make any sense to him.
I get some change for the phone.
No change. Have to buy something.
And who hasn't felt this way? Who hasn't experienced that distinct feeling that the world has somehow moved on without you? Who hasn't fantasized about setting people straight, no matter how unlikely you are to follow through? Now, I don't want to project my own insecurities onto all of you, but I know I've felt that way. So enter Falling Down with a heaping dose of catharsis. Defense has had enough, and he's officially taking no shit. His mounting vigilante rampage draws the notice of Detective Prendergast, an old cop with one foot out the door of retirement. He's played brilliantly by Robert Duvall. His character acts as a mirror of Michael Douglas's Defense. He too is fed up with the shitburger life is feeding him. He too is absorbing abuse from all sides. As he follows leads and attempts to track down Defense, he begins to empathize naturally with his crusade in the same way that we, the audience, do. No rational person condones vigilante justice, but goddamn if it isn't satisfying to watch. The next time you're feeling like blowing up at a Chipotle cashier, swallow that anger, take your burrito home for movie night with Falling Down. Enjoy the catharsis and thank me later.
Donuts. Package of 6, how much?
$1.12.
Oh! Too much. Aspirin. Price?
$3.40.
Oh, please.
A Scanner Darkly. Based on a novel meant to be an examination of author Philip K. Dick's own experiences with drug abuse, A Scanner Darkly manages to be quite a bit more than that. There are very few films that you might compare it to, visually speaking. The only one that comes to mind is A Waking Life, and even that comparison doesn't do it justice. It just doesn't look like anything else, and I think that's core to its rewatchability. Scanner is clearly about drugs, but it's also about the inner life of drug abusers, the pitfalls of life outside the law, and the dangers of mass surveillance. It's also about enforcement of drug laws and how much damage can be done in the name of law, order, and the common good. The movie follows Keanu Reeves' Bob Arctor, an undercover cop living the life of a drug middleman. He's surrounded by this insane cast of junkies and dreamers. Woody Harrelson and Robert Downey Jr. both give mesmerizing, energetic performances that offer a much-needed contrast to Keanu's typical, I took a handful of downers right before this shoot style.
What is this? Come on. I'm desperately afraid.
I'm gonna knock your nads up into your nostrils for talking to your betters that way.
All right, I'm a technician. You're an interloper. You are constitutionally incapable of not shutting the fuck up.
The strongest performance in the film comes from actor Rory Cochran's Charles Feck. It's such a great character performance, and his constant drug-fueled hallucinations are given a special place due to the film's unique rotoscoped animation style. The combination of live performance, completely reimagined through animation, gives the movie a dreamlike feel throughout and makes it great to revisit over and over again. There'll probably never be another movie like it, so what choice do we have? Watch it, wait a while, watch again with fresh eyes, repeat until the desired effect is achieved.
If you guys are gonna kill each other, I'm splitting. It's getting very fucked up over here.
Hey, Freck. The most dangerous kind of person is the one who's afraid of his own shadow.
What is that supposed to mean?
Tommy Boy. With so much heaviness in the list so far, I had to find room for some laughs. There's quite a few comedies that would be right at home on a list like this, but my mind landed on Tommy Boy first. In the 90s, David Spade and Chris Farley were on top of the world. They'd settled into this role of a comedic duo, kind of like a modern-day Abbott and Costello, and people just couldn't get enough. Tommy Boy was released at the height of that white-hot popularity, and it remains the best work that Spade and Farley ever did together.
Okay, let's check you out. All right. It's a clip, huh? Are you sure?
Farley plays Tommy Callahan, dim-witted son of a successful auto parts mogul. When his dad dies suddenly, it falls to Tommy to save the business and all of the small-town jobs it supports. He's joined by David Spade's Richard, an uptight assistant who's in charge of keeping Tommy from embarrassing himself or the company. It's a classic setup for slapstick comedy. You have the buffoon and the straight man forced into each other's worlds, forced to find some way to make their opposite approaches to life work together.
That's it? Come on, you can do better than that, can't you, Captain Limpris? Try again.
Hey, everybody, is there a window open? I feel a draft.
If I wanted a kiss, I would have called your mother. Come on. That was a good one.
So why is Tommy Boy rewatchable? For me, it's Chris Farley's performance. His energy is infectious, and while he's presented as a total clownish failure, he's just so damn cozy. It may be cliche, but damn it, his heart's in the right place. I know I can relate to that, even if my personal failures don't always come with a punchline. It's one thing that Tommy Boy is funny. It's another thing entirely that it's warm, relatable, and fuck it, I'll say it, it's touching. Rewatching Tommy Boy once in a while feels like visiting a couple of old friends, and a happily ever after ending is sometimes just what a cynic like me needs.
Richard, do I have a mark on my face? It really hurts.
Nope, nothing. I thought I hit you on the shoulder.
My shoulder doesn't hurt very much, but my face does. Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here.
Nope. Ship shape.
Apocalypse Now. When I think of Apocalypse Now, I think of that old adage that the journey is more important than the destination. For all of the talk about his portrayal of Colonel Kurtz in the film, Marlon Brando is barely in it. We spend most of the movie following Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen. Willard is an army-trained assassin, ordered to travel up the Nung River during the height of the Vietnam War. His mission is to find and eliminate the brilliant Colonel Kurtz, a ranking officer that's believed to have gone insane in the jungles near the Cambodian border. Willard's goal is clear, but his path is not. The river is fraught with danger and distraction, and the movie becomes a slideshow look at the utter insanity of the Vietnam War.
Huey's over there. Lots of Hueys.
Let's have a look, Chief.
It was the air cab, first of the night.
That's them.
Our escorts to the mouth of the Nung River. But they were supposed to be waiting for us another 30 kilometers ahead. Well, Air Mobile. Those boys just couldn't stay put.
As the tension mounts, Willard reads Kurtz's dossier little by little, slowly revealing the brilliance and the madness that typify him. By the end of the journey, Willard is understandably confused as to what the right course of action is. I mean, clearly Kurtz has gone insane, but what's to be expected when you throw a man into the mouth of unspeakable horror over and over again? Given the death and confusion endured by Willard and his guides as they travel up the Nung in a patrol boat, it's hard not to empathize with the dilemma. While the final scenes between Willard and Kurtz are brilliant, it's the journey that makes Apocalypse so rewatchable. So much happens during that boat ride up the river that a little time between watches is all that's needed to make it feel fresh again. I never fail to notice something new when watching Apocalypse Now, despite having seen it a stupid amount of times.
There's mine's over there, too. And watch out, those goddamn monkeys bite you, I'll tell you. Ah, that's a pretty one. Move it right in toward me. I'm an American. Yeah. American civilian. Hi, Yanks. Hi, American.
The Thin Blue Line. Slapping a documentary on this list may turn some people off. Documentaries may be among the least rewatchable films to some. Now, I don't share this hang-up, but Errol Morris's brilliant The Thin Blue Line doesn't feel much like a documentary anyway. Following the case of Randall Adams, The Thin Blue Line combines interviews, archival footage, and movie-quality reenactments to paint the constantly unfolding story of what seemed to many to be an open-and-shut murder case. Adams was accused of killing a police officer in cold blood, which understandably inflamed the Dallas, Texas Police Department. Their focus on finding their man is at the center of this story, and watching different versions of events played out via reenactment make this documentary feel far closer to a crime drama.
When we started putting the facts together on how much information we actually had, we found out we didn't have anything.
You've got legal acrobatics, a cast of colorful Texas characters, an absolutely insane investigation and trial, and one of the most compelling twists ever. The Thin Blue Line shows that truth is indeed stranger than fiction, and the trail of breadcrumbs style in which the story unfolds is always surprising, no matter how many times I watch it. The characters involved, from the Texas law enforcement and judge to Adams himself, are all bigger than life. And the fact that all of this drama is real adds a sense of weight that it's hard to convey in fiction. If you're going to rewatch a documentary, you can't go wrong with this one. Its lesson on the failings of justice is worth relearning.
Mrs. Miller got on the stand that last afternoon, and she said, that's the man. I saw that man. I saw Randall Adams' face just right after she said, I saw the gun sticking out of the car when he shot that police officer, and that's the man. And she waved her finger right toward Randall Adams. She's the one that got him convicted.
And that's it. Do you agree with any of my picks? Am I a bumbling, uncultured buffoon? Any favorites of yours that I missed? Let me know down below. Hit the like if you like this. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Turn on your alerts so you know when the new shit hits. Thanks.